Today I'll be testing some of the coolest LEGO vehicles, including regular ones like cars, boats, and planes, but also some unique ones like a starfighter and a $500 battery-powered AT-AT. There will be some bonuses, and by the end you'll know which ones are worth it.
Here we go!
First up will be the most basic LEGO boat you can make out of your LEGO bin with 5 pieces, and Captain Rex will test this thing if it can float. Wow, this thing actually floats. Now that we tested the boat designed by a 5-year-old, it's time to test 2 more boats, a basic one and a fairly large one. The basic boat is made up of a LEGO mold in the shape of a boat, and it has some additional features like a windscreen and an engine, as well as some fire to make it look like it got caught on fire. With that being said, let's see if it works. That one works too, that's awesome. The last of the boats is this much larger boat, which is made from this LEGO boat piece. The boat has a seat up top for the driver and some space in the back for some passengers. In the front there is a hose that shoots out transparent light blue studs so it looks like water, and you can open up the section in the front and there's a storage container for some extra studs. Now it's time to see if this thing floats. To my surprise, this one works too. We're 3 for 3. Now that we have tested 3 different LEGO boats and every single one of them floats, it's time to see if they can survive a tsunami. This will be the true test to see which boat is the best. To my surprise, the 5-piece LEGO boat survived the tsunami, which is crazy. Sometimes simpler may be better in certain cases like this, and this cheesy boat managed to hold its ground. Our next set of tests will include driving and speed, similar to my favorite game, Mario Kart. I'll be testing how far these vehicles can go, how fast they can go, and how durable they are if they were to crash. Now I decided to save the speed test for the end, so all these vehicles can go at the same time. The first vehicle here is Captain Rex's speeder bike, an alternate build from the Y-Wing microfighter. I also have a tutorial on my channel for this if you want to build it. It's a relatively simple design with a seat for a minifigure, so let's see how well this can perform on our distance and crash test. This speeder bike seemed to work really well despite not having wheels like a car, which would be up next, and after measuring the distance, it looks like it traveled just over 67 total inches, which seems like a good baseline. But how will it hold up against our next few contenders? The next vehicle is a LEGO Lamborghini, and thankfully this only costed me $15 instead of the $2.6 million it is for the real thing. This is a pretty nice model for only $15, and my one complaint about building it was the amount of stickers used for such a small model. I've never been a fan of stickers since you can mess them up easily. The car is sleek in design, and it comes with 1 minifigure to drive it, and there's space inside for 2 minifigures. The wheels seem like they work nicely, so I'm excited to test this vehicle out. That was definitely a rough test for the car, as it didn't even go straight. But after I measured the distance, the car traveled a little over 89 inches, which beats the speeder by 22 inches. But after I measured this first test, I wanted to see if I can get the car to drive straight. And this is what happened. Time after time again, it wouldn't go straight, so I just came to the conclusion that this car was haunted. Now it's time for the mystery LEGO vehicle, which is much bigger than our previous vehicles. These are parts from the LEGO AT-AT, and I'll be building a tank from these. After 4 hours of building, here it is, and this is the size comparison to the LEGO speeder bike and LEGO Lamborghini. Much bigger. This turbo tank is a full-fledged interior where you can sit up to 6 passengers in the middle, and you can have 1 pilot the tank in the front, 1 figure control the cannon up top, and I will enjoy a nice cup of hot chocolate in the back. This thing has a total of 10 wheels, which are made up from circular pieces, not actual wheels. So let's see how they come into play during the tests. Now that is not what I expected when I was testing this thing. Maybe a few pieces I expected to fall off, but this tank literally fell apart as it kept rolling, which was funny, but a little disappointing. On the bright side, it did go the farthest distance at around 114 inches. We are actually going to do the speed test first because I know the tank is going to get demolished, so let's see which ground vehicle is the fastest. Well, that was pretty obvious. The tank and the car started out together, but the tank had much more momentum after the ramp. Now it's time for the crash test, which I'm sure you're looking forward to. We'll start with the speeder, then move on to the car, and lastly end off with the turbo tank. Surprisingly, the speeder held itself very well during the crash. The car barely even took any damage, which is insane. but not to my surprise, the tank literally exploded as it crashed into the couch. Thankfully I got that on camera. Now it is time to move on to air vehicles, which will include a flight test for each one of them. The first one up is Captain Rex's Microfighter, and this is the official LEGO model. This is a really simple set with a space for one minifigure, and it includes some stud shooter cannons in the front as a play feature. This set is what got this channel started, so now it's time to flight test this little guy. After retrieving the set after the test, it stayed mostly intact, so this is a great set for flying. The next set to go on a flight is Obi-Wan Starfighter, and here's the size comparison compared to the first vehicle. This set has one space inside the pilot seat for a minifigure and a secret compartment for a droid. In the front there are two stud shooters and a rotating disc for the droid's head. Underneath is a piece of landing gear which I'll be deactivating before the flight test. And here are the three minifigures that came with the set, so with that being said, it's time to test this thing. Well, I have to say that the Obi-Wan Starfighter passed the flight test because it only took around 30 seconds to fix it. The last air vehicle is this large LEGO plane, which is the biggest of the three air vehicles. It comes with three minifigures, all firefighters. The plane has three spots for minifigures: the pilot seat, a seat right behind the pilot, and a secret spot in the back. It also has some water guns in the front and an awesome feature where it can put out fire if you pull on this piece. This feature works really well. But can the plane successfully fly to save this little park from the fire? Let's find out. Well, I guess we decided to let the park burn because the plane did not survive, and neither did the passengers. And now what you've been waiting for, the $500 Motorized AT-AT. But since this is a 2007 set, there's a chance that a gold C-3PO is placed inside the box, which is worth well over $2,000, so let's unbox. I cut the seals, so now for the reveal. Aw man, that's unfortunate. And you know what else is unfortunate? The bags are not numbered, so this is going to take a while to build. By the way, this is the battery case and it requires 6 AA 1.5 volt batteries to power this thing. The first thing to look at are the minifigures, which are an AT-AT driver, General Veers, Luke Skywalker, and a snowtrooper. I really love the chrome lightsaber hilt that was included with Luke Skywalker. Old figures are just so nostalgic to me. And here is the completed AT-AT, and my first word when I finished the set was wow. I felt like a child in a candy store as this is the oldest LEGO set I have ever built. It was a bit challenging, but it looks amazing. In the front cockpit you can fit two minifigures, and there's a rope underneath for Luke Skywalker to recreate the scene when he destroys the AT-AT. There's also a handle up top to carry the set, but the greatest feature is that the set can walk. The function is hidden underneath here, and all you have to do is push it and the set can walk forward and backwards. This thing is unbelievable. Now it's time to test the set if it can power through an army of minifigures and withstand missiles, so let's test it. Well guys, that video was so much fun to make, but it's sadly over. I appreciate all you guys watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.